Father, we thank you for the privilege of living in this great country. We ask a special blessing on those that make that possible for us. Our men and women that fight, put their life on the line so that we have this privilege. Father, we ask that you guide and direct our decisions that we make. We ask for that same blessing for the leaders of our state, our county, our nation. And Father, we ask that we live our lives more worthy of the blessings that you bestow on us. We ask these things in the Christ's name. Amen.
We have recognized today as Pearl Harbor Day, so if you all will join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Please be seated. Good afternoon. I want to welcome everybody again to our City Commission meeting. And let's see, we'll go ahead and get started with our agenda. First item are the minutes. Any comments from the audience or the commission on the minutes? If not, I have a motion.
Mayor, I move for approval of the minutes as presented.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes by 4-0 vote. The next item is ordinance 7254. This is the first reading of an ordinance replacing the current discounted golf green fee cards for punch card program with the recently discussed players card discount card program. This change will provide increased flexibility for frequent golfers and will further accommodate the closure of the Ross Rogers East course while encouraging increased play at all city golf courses. Do we have any comments from the audience on this ordinance? Commission? Do I have a motion?
Mayor, I move we approve ordinance number 7254.
Second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes by 4-0 vote. The next item is ordinance 7252. This is the second and final reading of an ordinance changing the zoning of a tract of land in the vicinity of Southeast 17th Avenue and Taylor Street from Plan Development District 111 to amended Plan Development 111B for office, residential, and storage uses. And you can see that on the screen up there. Do we have any comments from the audience on this ordinance? Commission? Okay, do I have a motion?
Mayor, make a motion we approve ordinance number 7252.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes by 4-0 vote. The next item is ordinance 7253. This is the second and final reading of an ordinance vacating various portions of unimproved rights-of-way in Famous Heights Addition in the vicinity of Southeast 16th Avenue and Seminole Street. This request will allow for streets and alleys to be vacated and abandoned for public purposes. Any comments from the audience on this ordinance? Let's see that on the screen up there. Commission? Okay, do I have a motion?
Mayor, I move we approve ordinance number 7254.
Second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Again? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Okay, that passes by 3-0-1 vote. The next item is the consent agenda. It's recommended the following items be approved and that the city manager be authorized to execute all documents necessary for each transaction. A is to purchase a front loader refuse truck. B is award a water storage tank repainting and restoration project, and we were informed that paragraph under it should be it's award of contract to repair and repaint the interior and exterior of 3 potable water storage tanks located throughout the city system. The requested project will rehabilitate 1 500,000-gallon steel standby style tank, 1 2 million-gallon steel tank, and 1 million-gallon steel ground storage tank. The next item on the consent agenda is accepting the Lone Star Libraries grant. D is approval of addendum number 1, the airport property fronting primary site lease for Bell Helicopter Textron. So I corrected item B. Let's see. I always like to talk about our libraries. We have a wonderful library program in the city of Amarillo, and we continue to get this money to make it even more successful. So, Stacy, I didn't see you. Would you come and come and talk to us about this library's grant, Dan? I'm sorry to catch you off guard.
That's all right.
People come, I call them up here. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good.
This is the grant from the Lone Star Libraries grant is a grant that we actually receive pretty much every year, but this year it is being directed to our brand new Read to Succeed program, which will be a reading skills program offering one-on-one and small group tutoring to adults who need to learn to read. And our libraries are really uniquely situated to offer these services because we have libraries in every quadrant of the city and because the city buses drive to the libraries, and so it will make it a good place for people to come and receive tutoring. It's a program we've wanted to offer for a very long time, and we're very excited that we'll be launching it in January. This grant is a very small portion of the funding that it takes, but it will go to cover the computers and some of the furnishing that are needed to run the program.
Is this in conjunction with what I saw in the news last night?
Yes,
It is.
that's our new reading skills program.
Okay. Great. Y'all are doing such a great job.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
All that you agree.
You're very kind. Thank you. Thank you so much. Any other questions?
No, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here.
Not at all. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else like to talk about any of the other consent agenda items today? Pull any out for separate consideration from the audience or the commission. If not, do I have a motion?
Mayor, make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? That motion passes by a 4-0 vote. Okay, this concludes our meeting today, our regularly scheduled meeting, and we're going to end it with our comments from the audience to the City Commission on anything that's not on the agenda today. So we will open up the floor at this time for those comments. Yes, sir. Y'all probably know, name and address, please.
Mark Boyd.
How are you, Mark?
I'm good.
Gosh, come on up to the podium here, Mark. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you.
I don't know how to go about what we're trying to accomplish here. So, I'll start at the
Tell us what we're looking at here, Mark.
Basically, in a nutshell, what we're trying to propose, there's an alley located in between my business, which is Octo Tire, and United Market Street, that has served no purpose other than to house have homeless people there and people that do drugs, and it's become a real crime-ridden area. We've had in the note that I gave you, I just listed this weekend's activities. It's gotten to where every weekend is full of break-ins, crimes, people having things stolen. And what I'm asking the City Commission to do is that we seal off that alley, fence it off, make it a no trespassing zone. The 5 connecting local businesses that connect to that alley will pay for all the fencing and any cost. All we ask is that the city help us with the patrol of it and enforcement of the no trespassing.
Mr. Atkinson, does this go to planning and zoning, or do we just give it to the chief over here, or do you have one for him, Mark?
Yeah, if you want, we'll get a copy for the chief. This is something we can look at both through planning, building safety, and the police department.
Okay, great. So, and did you give us your address, Mark? I forgot.
The business address is 2805 Virginia Circle.
Is that what they need on business? Okay. Great, thank you. Well, we will be in touch with you, and I know we will, and everyone here is very good about that. So thank you, Mark. Good to see you. We will look at that. Thank you. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Well,
back again in case so you don't forget us. Kathy Altman, 2105 South Lipscomb. And I wanted to read you a paragraph that shows how Amarillo is making national news. Throughout Florida, Tea Party organizations are beginning to accept the challenge of preventing local government from crushing their property rights under a comprehensive land use plan. In Amarillo, Texas, a group of everyday citizens has formed to learn how to convince their elected officials to reject the plan that stifles property rights and economic development. In city after city and county after county, local citizens are discovering that they can change the direction of their government. And that's what we're trying to do. We want our property rights, and I guess we're being recognized nationally now.
What publication is that?
This was from World.News.
Great. Thanks, Kathy. Yeah.
John,
It's still Johnny to me.
I would call you Debbie though.
Well, I never put that.
First off, I want to thank you for saying Remember Pearl Harbor Day.
Sure.
And Merry Christmas to everybody. And I've got an article, you made the news twice. And it says, it's the same outfit here. The planters in Amarillo, Texas do not think of themselves as enemies of the citizens of Amarillo. A landowner whose property is devalued as a result of arbitrary line drawn on a planting map may disagree. Amarillo is typical of thousands of cities that have bitten the bitter biscuit labeled sustainable agreement. Sustainable development, Examine what Amarillo planners have determined to be action priorities. Here's a laundry list of action items the planners, not the citizens of Amarillo, have determined should be done. Many cities that have fallen victim to this political correct sustainable development planning are now confronting the environmental police and a whole new code enforcement department that use taxes to pay enforcement officers to ensure that people water their lawns on schedule or not water their lawns, as may be dictated by the government. Some planned communities require homes to be painted a color dictated by government, square footage dictated by the government, and building materials and landscape vegetated dictated by the government. Progressive socialists and communists believe that this is exactly the way it should be. Progressives were served notice on November 2nd. This is a growing number of Americans who want progressives and their Marxist philosophy ousted from the government at every level. The last election was a start. The next election will be another step. Victory will not occur until the progressives are sent packing, and the vast majority of our elected officials from the courthouse to the White House understand and believe Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations, the Declaration of Independence, and the U.S. Constitution. And also I want to say that I know y'all had 12 signatures, 12 statements from people that weren't here last week. We're gonna let our list of people and stuff to change. We're gonna try and make everybody vote on it.
You've not received those letters yet. Did somebody bring a list for it?
I don't think we've seen them either. I know people brought them up last week, and we're gonna have
That's what you get.
how many signatures we got?
What John is saying that last time that the other side brought in letters to you, you asked us to bring in letters. And we're not gonna bring them, we're gonna bring our petitions instead.
Okay, now, would you tell me what she just said? I'm sorry, John, I wanted her to come to the microphone. What she just said?
Well, I'm saying the same thing.
No, I didn't understand.
But we're gonna let our petitions do our talking.
Oh, so you don't have any letters today?
No, we didn't bring any letters. We think the best way to do it is by the petitions. We think that's good enough.
Is this WorldNet Daily, is this a Tea Party publication?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's in the
I haven't
business
heard of it.
pages.
No, it's not.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
No, thank you.
Anybody else? Hi.
I'm Jimmy Presley Hammonds. I live at 1514 South Pierce. I have no letters, but everybody that's in the hardcore motorcycle ministry, everybody that's in CMA, Christian Motorcycle Association, they're backing us. I ain't gonna tell you who all else, but I know. I've been riding ever since 1965. Everybody I know that rides, the biggest majority of my friends, and they're gonna sign our petition. I'm gonna try to read my own writing here. Made a comment one time that he's letting Susan and Amarillo know what's going on, but you know, I didn't see none of it in the newspaper, I didn't see none of it on TV, and what I did see, what little bit I did see is so quick that if I blink my eyes or, you know, it's only 2-3 seconds long, I don't think y'all are giving us a fair shake on this deal. You know, as in Sunday's paper, that's really interesting. So it's going to involve millions and millions of dollars, how much that's going to be my tax money, you know, our tax money rather. You know, y'all's acting like it's, you know, heck, 1958 or something. I mean, like there ain't no 2 wars going on, like Al-Qaeda ain't running around the world doing their deal. I mean, times are hard. People over on this side of town that you decide to make downtown Amarillo, they're scraping to make it by from month to month. They're lucky to get all their bills paid without having to go and pay a late charge for next month, you know. And you start taking bills out down there, you're going to destroy lives. And you know, keep downtown like it used to be from 3rd to 11th Street. Don't go past 11th, you know. And you know, I grew up on the northeast side of town. And the Speedway was like 12 blocks away. There on Hastings. On a clear day, 12 blocks away, I could hear them cars like they was right there. I don't want to be here in that ball field 9 blocks away. You know, but whatever happens, I'll survive on it. Do what your heart and conscience tells you to. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Carl?
Good afternoon. How are you? Good day.
Kind of cold in here.
A little chilly.
Yeah.
Carl Russ, 9721 Short Street. Wanted to hit this from a little different perspective this afternoon. Greece has collapsed economically. Ireland is on the verge of economic collapse or has collapsed, according to economic experts worldwide. Spain and I believe Portugal, they're predicting is next. Our country is in so much debt, our government is printing money so fast that the value of it is going down tremendously. In California, they stopped paying many of the state employees senior citizens checks and have stopped. They began handing out IOUs because they're out of money. The banks took the IOUs for mortgages, car payments for a while, but then they stopped taking them. People are going to work 40 hours a week, coming home, and losing their house, their car, because they don't have any money. They aren't getting any money from the state because it's broke. The state of California is talking about letting go up to 40% of the prisoners in California, and the communities are bracing for that right now, just in case that occurs, because there's no money to run the prisons. Here in Texas, Governor Perry is talking about closing prisons and also letting out many, many prisoners. How does this relate to what's going on here? In the groups that were led by Melissa Daly and the other individuals representing the city of Amarillo around the town, I brought this up. How much is this going to cost us? No one can give us an answer. Builders, individuals who build homes, build businesses, build
business buildings, they have some type of budget. They have some type of plan. They can tell the individuals that will be responsible for paying for those structures how much it's going to cost. We haven't heard anything. Just out of desperation, I got on the web and Googled major construction companies for ballparks. Now, I've heard that this is going to be a major league ballpark, and then I heard possibly a minor league ballpark. Looking at the minor league ballpark we have right now, it's about a fourth the size or less than the land that the ballpark that has been proposed will take up. So this ballpark that is proposed will be 4 times or larger the size. That sounds pretty major to me. I looked up major ballpark leagues, average cost across the United States. Looked at construction companies, and anyone can do that, just Google that, is around $310 million for one of those ballparks. A multi-level parking garage, I'm assuming 1 city block square, is a lot of money. I think a couple of those are proposed. A Civic Center Civic Center hotel, I don't know if that's still in the works, but throwing that in the mix along with an Olympic-sized pool, a entertainment venue, and also in the paper I believe I read that between $210,000 and $240,000 for each side of a street to renovate it in the downtown area it's going to cost. Now, if you were to take, and I kind of roughly counted the blocks, 11 blocks north-south, 11 blocks east-west, take that and just round it off 10 blocks for simplicity's sake. That's 100 blocks. Okay, 100 times 4, because there's 4 sides. That is 400. 400 times $250,000. That is a lot of money on top of all of this other that we're talking about. Probably, I would assume, a couple of $1 billion that these taxpayers are going to be saddled with, along with, well, when you, and Mr. Sims, I see you're shaking your head, but when you calculate $310 million plus 400 times 250,000, that's 100 million. That's 410 million right there. Now, it may only be a billion or $1.5 billion, but that's a tremendous amount of money. Just on the blocks, renovations, and the ballpark, we're up to $410 million. 590 million short of $1 billion. I don't see how this is good for the city of Amarillo at this time, in this juncture of our economic distress, not only nationwide, but worldwide. I really feel like that this is a mistake right now and possibly in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carl. Appreciate your input. Yes, sir. So, Commissioner?
Mayor, Commissioner, let's get back to thinking about what I read in the paper about the Coastal Bend team is out right now. Well, they haven't been able to pay their rent.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Manny? Contraband?
Coastal Bend, yeah, Coastal Bend in Robstown. It's a minor league,
Right.
and it's a beautiful stadium that they built there. And this year they had the playoffs. They had some games that was been done. They only had 300 people in that beautiful stadium. So they moved it back to Amarillo so they could make more money to be able to pay some of their bills. I know that Amarillo is a good place for baseball, but it's not as good to have a double A or triple A. And the reason is that it costs too much money. It costs millions of dollars. I can't tell you how much it's money, but millions of dollars. And not only that, but you have to have a major league to move into the area. I mean, like Amarillo, to be able to have a minor league baseball and be adjusted with the same with the major leagues and the pay. They have they used to call bonus babies, but they just now they call them just the bonus. So those people are paid, but the major leagues people, but there's some players they're not paid like that. They have to play from the administrative funds. So it runs to a lot of money. But if you build a ballpark here, it's going to be out there, and it's going to be out there. It's beautiful. I'm going to be honest. It's not. I'm saying it's not. It's going to be beautiful. But what are you going to put in there? You cannot bring in the new park like that the crowds that they bring over here at the Potter County. And I can say this much: that our kids and our grandkids are going to be paying for this. And the people in the economy is bad. The economy is bad right now, and let it settle down for another year, some more years. So if we get better, then we'll think about it, do it. But I don't see it. I don't see it in the future. We ain't got anybody to support it. Oklahoma City has a AAA. They go down there. Amarillo has a double A or AAA, and Amarillo, we don't have the support. And there's not. I mean, there's support here, but there's not enough people to support it. It's just enough for independently. But I hope that you'll think about it and feel about it, what the people want, and let the people vote for it if they want it. And if they want it, if the people want to vote for it, whatever you all want, it's fine. But I let the people vote for it. Let the people speak.
Commissioner, thank you for bringing the Gold Sox back to Amarillo to being a part of that. That's so exciting.
It is. It brings a lot of memories. In 1948, when we had great players here, and they kept them. One of them in the Hall of Fame now is a wing. So,
yeah, well, I'm excited.
But anyway, thank you a lot.
Thank you. Oh.
Elroy Dodds, 1604 South Harrison. Thank you for having Carl speak here, and I can vouch for him. He's a science and mathematical teacher. My question is, the BSA hospital taxes, when will that kick in? Does anybody know about that?
Actually, BSA doesn't have taxes, and it's Northwest Texas that we used to have taxes on that, but we no longer have that.
So we're not going to be burdened with that.
We have a contract, what is it, 15 more years, is that right?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, until 2021.
Until 2021. Yeah, about 2021.
2021 for the current contract for indigent health care.
The next thing is, how about the HUD federal money? Do we get that coming into Amarillo?
Yes.
And how does that factor in to this revitalization of Amarillo? Is that going to affect us?
No, sir. Not in this particular area.
Okay. I'm just trying to see how many taxes are we going to be paying. I know I'm a senior citizen, and there's been a tax freeze on us senior citizens. If it wasn't for Bill Stuffer and Mr. Eddie Gwynn, is he here? Here he is. They fought for this. And, you got to stand up and fight it. And he put a freeze for us. Thank you, Gwynn. We have to fight. It's like those halfway houses they were going to build near our neighborhood. The Taylors and I, we fought for that, and they stopped. They're not building them. We fought for that.
The what?
The halfway houses from the prison. Yeah, near our residence. We stopped that. When I moved to Harrison Street and 16th Street, we had 5 bars there. Now there's only 2 bars. I was instrumental in stopping the hidey hole. I was torn down by the churches. The
the other biker bar that was torn down. The bygones is bygones. That land was also bought by the hospital, so by the churches. And I'm very appreciative of what the churches are doing. You know, when they let out the churches on Sundays and Wednesdays, they caravan down on Harrison Street, and I welcome it. I like that. You know, I love to hear those bells. But you know what, we have to fight on a lot of that stuff. We still got a few problems with 16th Street. That's graffiti there. Mr. Blackburn owns that, and there's graffiti all over the place. On Harrison Street, we got Miss June Carter that was here working real hard, taking care of her house. She's got a couple of houses there, and you know, she gets on top of the house and with the workers, you know, putting up that house, and she's a real good worker, and I relate to her. She's a good neighbor of mine. But she's fighting against me on this. And she likes what's going to happen. You know, she wants the lights and the trees and security. But she's willing to give up a little bit of her freedoms for that. So, I don't know. I'm not looking for that. What I want to ask here on the audience, how many people here work for the city?
If you'll just direct your questions to me.
Okay, how many people in the audience works for the city or will benefit what's going on here?
Well, I don't think that's a fair. This is just you let us know what you're talking about, and we don't want to.
Okay. All right. I think that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am.
Irvaida, 1604 South Harrison.
Hey, Irma, could you tell me your last? I still can't understand your last name when you say that.
In Spanish, it's Eras. In English, it's Harris, whatever you want to call me. So I always like to pronounce it my legal way. He pronounces it different. I never met an L and I never met an
Say it
S.
so quick, I can't ever catch it. I'm trying.
The H is silent, and you gotta roll the R. You gotta try my maiden name. Reda. Irma Rita Reda Molina de Eras. Eloy said quite a bit of the things I was already planned on saying. I'd kind of like to apologize for my actions last Tuesday night. I had been suffering from diverticulitis, but I came anyway. It made me very angry to see that you accepted letters from people that were not attending, yet we, the members of the Amarillo Citizens for Property Rights, had been attending, had gone to all the meetings on Saturdays and Tuesdays and at nights and everything that Melissa Daly had, and it was I who had suggested to Melissa Daly that she needed to talk to the neighbors. But what they did, they stretched it out among 5 meetings, and it was mostly the same ones that kept going. Nobody cared to come in and talk about what was going on in the neighborhood. So I kind of lost my composure because I was very upset that those letters were put in the record. And as a group, we decided that we would not ask for letters from our members that could not attend, because a lot of them feel that they would be retaliated or made targets of. And I've gotten to the point, I'm 65 years old now, and what the heck, I may die tomorrow. And if you don't like me, well, that's too, so bad. So I don't care anymore. I feel it's more important to stand on principle than whether I make who likes me and who doesn't list. I was very upset of the way we were treated at the meeting last Tuesday night. There were people here to intimidate us with their little bright green signs, and some represented by lawyers, many of them lawyers themselves. We're the backbone of Amarillo. We're the working people. We may not be the blue collar or the white collar. We're just the Amarillo citizens. and the way we were treated was very unjust, not also by the commissioners here, by the people that were attending that were supporting your cause, but the media. I want to tell you about some of the members of our group, like Carl and Amy. The media chose to show their home, made it look like a slum. They didn't bother to tell you or tell the residents that they've been pouring thousands of dollars into that old house to make it into a home. And the reason that they were boarded up was because it used to be a duplex and they're turning it into a single family home. And they had already put thousands of dollars worth of new windows. And the porch was dilapidated because they've been going through the city trying to go through the engineers and the permits and this and that to get their porches fixed. And the media focused on the worst that they could find. They were both school teachers raising a family. John and Jimmy, Vietnam veterans as well as my husband, they know about standing up for freedom. And as a military wife, I know what it is to stand up for freedom. But you call him Johnny instead of John?
You know, I went to school forever, and that's what we was called in school, right?
But we try to call you Mayor, or Mrs. McCart. And when I have called you Deborah, I have apologized because to me, you're the mayor. Kathy, she didn't even know she had a voice. She said, I can't stand up and talk in front of them. And she did a beautiful job last week of opening her heart and speaking for what a lot of us have felt. We are not against the revitalization of downtown. We welcome it. But we don't want our taxpayers' money going to that. If somebody wants to build a restaurant and fix up a building, more power to them. I'll support them. I'll go into their establishment and I'll go eat in a restaurant, or maybe I can afford the fancy boutique they might put up. But I don't want people on the commissioners making money off of my taxes or the other citizens' taxes. If you don't want to just take into consideration what we're trying to tell to you, you need to listen to the John Terry show. He had to move to the Delhart station because he's no longer on KGNC because he spoke up against what was going on downtown and they tried to shut him up. But you got to hear what the people are calling and saying about what they think about what's going on in the commissioner's court and with the downtown revitalization and the ballpark and everything. You might also hear on the Jimmy Fox show where some of our members have spoken at 6:30 in the morning. I even called the wrong number at 6:30 in the morning. I hope the man forgives me. But listen to what your constituents are saying. It's not just a handful of us speaking. It's a lot of people in Amarillo that do not want the ballpark, do not want their taxes being used. And Mayor, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of people besides myself that say there is a conflict of interest. And what brought Eloy and I here to Amarillo was he had a job working, installing medical equipment all around the Texas Panhandle and the hospitals here. What brought my son and his family with 4 children was your schools. And he started a business here. He still has a business in California that is struggling. But he works really hard. We are very lucky, and thanks to the work that you do, we do have a great economy in Amarillo. We support you on that. But again, remember what the American people told Washington. You are spending too much money. And we're trying to tell you, you are spending our money for, we are scared to death what's going on in Washington, D.C. And we're trying to tell you before we get to the point that we're that scared of what's going to happen here, don't spend our money Be wise with our money. We trusted you by electing you. So please take consideration of who we are. We're not an angry mob coming up here. You said on the paper we had berated you, and I mean, we talked like we were some kind of kooks. We stopped bringing up Agenda 21, but I believe it was the city attorney that brought up Agenda 21 at the meeting last Tuesday when we had said, okay, no more, don't mention that because it makes us look like a bunch of kooks. And I don't know your purpose was to, again, point us out as being kooks. I don't know who brought it up. I was very nervous that night. I woke up in hives the next morning from all how nervous I was. We're trying to come up to you and ask you to listen to your constituents, listen to the people that elected you, listen to the people that have entrusted you with our money. And before you take a vote to spend any more money on that unnecessary stuff that's going downtown, because a ballpark is not what brings people to Amarillo. People come here to the hospitals, whether for medical attention or to visit people, and they use the hotels and they use the restaurants, and if you have things downtown that they can come to, great. But their main purpose here is not to come to a ballpark or to go play golf. Bell Helicopter did not move to Amarillo because golf courses. It moved here because we had some great hangars. We had a lot of flat land where they could train on those ospreys. There are many great reasons. Amarillo is I hated it here when I moved here, but you couldn't push me out of Amarillo. But I'm getting very close to wanting the Lord to say, let's pack up and move, because I cannot enjoy my home. It has become bitter to me now. What happened last Tuesday was that you pitted neighbor against neighbor. Gene Carter and us were good friends. We're 10 years. Helped one another out. Looked out for one another. We're not speaking anymore. We're no longer speaking to the lady with the bed and breakfast, and I commend her for that beautiful job that she did with those homes. But she did it because she wanted to, not because somebody made her do it, not because somebody said you have to do it this way and that way. All of us want to do for our homes. But if you leave extra money in our pocket instead of taxing us to death, we'll have the money in our pockets to do the things that are necessary to fix our own neighborhood. And I still believe that in our neighborhood, an association is a better way than putting us as being part of the downtown area. And please, think about us as citizens, not as an angry mob. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just voted.
Anyone else?
I'd say just a few more words.
No, so I think this one is what we're doing here. Anybody else back here like to speak? We appreciate you all coming. Understand your passion. We have two different sides here. Two different sides. I understand. But anyway, anyone else like to visit? Talk to us? If not, we appreciate everyone coming today, and we'll hopefully see y'all next week. This meeting stands adjourned.